Seeing all of you makes me feel a little teary, makes me realize how tender I feel. Maybe we feel sitting together, alone, standing up, sitting down. So grateful just to stop. And feel and open and listen, to wake up, to remember, to forget. I have to tell you, first of all, before I forget, because I do forget things, is I never noticed before these flowers that magically appeared on the altar, a gift from Buddha, the big white ones, are called star magnolias. Buddha woke up to the morning star. The star magnolias bloom this time of year. Thank you, Buddha. So I woke up this morning. So did you. I had been what I call sleeping, and then I woke up. And because I'd been sitting, I was maybe a little more aware that the dark turning towards the light, sound first, bird song in the morning, a barking dog in the distance, my own thought patterns, my likes, my dislikes, the feel of my foot as it touched the floor. Waking up and waking up and waking up. And then it continued. It hasn't stopped. The taste of warm tea, my lips and my mouth. Fresh raspberry for breakfast. Bruce and I went for a walk. The morning light illuminating the fog and beginning to rest on each tree, grass, the dewdrops illuminating that which had been unseen, not gone. Just changing, different. And then Bruce said to me, we went down to feed. We have a goat at the end of the lane called Patrick. Well, actually, we have two goats, but Patrick's a bully and he doesn't let the other one come over. So we just waved to the other one. Well, we brought carrots for Patrick. And Bruce said something like, it seems like most of our whole relationship with Patrick is about food. I mean, we know that's why he comes over to us. It's presumably not about love or about, but then he said, but Patrick's a goat. How could Patrick be anything but a goat? Why would you expect a goat to be a dog? And then we just for a moment reflected on, or why would you expect any one of us or anything to be, why would you expect Paul to not be Paul, or Mary to not be Mary, or Chris to not be Chris? That's what we're waking up with. And then, quite remarkably, in the sweetest way, Patrick kind of went beyond himself this morning, and besides just gobbling down the carrot, he gave us an extra kind of nuzzle on our hands and licked us. It's like, oh, thank you, Patrick. But you never know what's going to happen the next time, right? We just never do. And then I had the awareness as I was waking up this morning that this is happening all the time, everywhere. I think I wake up, but you're waking up. And the people in the red states and the blue states are waking up and going to sleep, and people in India are waking up and going to sleep, and Africa and Antarctica, and who knows, I don't know what worms or bees, or no, bees sleep. I've seen them sleep. The whole world is waking up moment after moment. And we're forgetting and remembering. It's round and it's full. And it's not just me and it's not just you. And the moments of insight, even just a moment of awe and wonder of how big and vast and mysterious, what a miracle this birth, death, life is. I think it changes us cellularly. It quickens our hearts. And then even when we forget the home ground, a little more open, tender, receptive. To what it already is and always has been, alive, alive, all-inclusive, alive, impermanent, no solid self. How we make ourselves and others suffer in our self-centeredness. And yet also how completely perfect it is. Because the universe will not leave us alone. Wake up, wake up. Be here. And the more we're here, the more we can't, how could we think we're here just for ourselves? Because everything's turning and moving and breathing everything else in and out and birthing and dying. Do you know how many people have probably been birthed? How many human beings have been birthed? And how many have died in the time that we've sat together? It's like, wake up, wake up. I forget often. The 5 remembrances help me. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. That's terrifying. If you really let it in. I'm going to keep going though. I'm of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I'm of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love, everyone I love, everyone you love, everyone who is loved, is of the nature to change. There is no escape from being separated from them. And there are star magnolias and morning stars and bird song and unfathomable mystery. Bodhicitta Suzuki Roshi used to say, he said every morning when he would greet people, "Good morning, Bodhisattvas." Suzuki Roshi died exactly 50 years ago yesterday. How wonderful we were sitting together, acknowledged the gift of his teachings and his life for all of us. We wouldn't be here without him. He wouldn't be there without us. It's up to us now, folks. Jane Hirschfield, some of you know her, the poet, friend of ours from San Francisco Zen Center. This is the way, what she said about Shakyamuni Buddha. I suppose Suzuki Roshi, you, me, Buddhists of all traditions all over the world sitting down on the ground during this Rahatsu week. He sat down under a Bodhi tree in the shelter of the natural world in all its beauty and fullness. And he said, "I will not move from this place until I have solved my problem." My problem, your problem, his problem? Well, let's not turn away from what we think the problem is, and let's just keep asking and looking more and more deeply. Study the self. Ancient twisted karma, greed, hate, and delusion. I want to acknowledge this takes some courage. Most people don't like to sit down for a few days on the ground, hurting back or knees, becoming intimate with the chattering mind and feelings. I think sometimes it's a great act of love and sometimes it's a great act of desperation. It's like, can't figure out anything else to do. I guess we'll just sit down on the earth. Some of you maybe know this koan. It's one of my most favorites. A student asked Zhao, what is Zazen? What is this sitting down on the earth? Breathing, upright, present, awake, awakening. Oh, I was going to tell you bodhicitta, which is the heart of a bodhisattva, is awakening heart-mind. It means awakening heart-mind. It doesn't mean awakened heart-mind. It means waking up, enlightening heart-mind, moment after moment. So that fits right into this koan. So student asked Zhao, what is Zazen? And he said it's not non-Zazen. It's not what you think. Anything you think it is or anything is, you're going to miss the whole world. So the student, of course, said, so what in the world are you talking about? How can Zazen be non-Zazen? How can eyes be no eyes? Ears be no ears? What are ears beyond ears and eyes beyond eyes? What is this finger pointing at the moon? And Zhao said, it's alive. It's alive. Everything, profoundly, radically alive. Birthing, deathing. Dark, light. The minute you try to grab hold of it, we miss the whole world and the fifth remembrance. given everything's alive, changing, we're going to like it, we're not going to like it. Our deeds are our closest companions. I and all beings are the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. How we live. What is it to live and be awakening heart-mind? Moment after moment. In the profound faith, trust, realization that your actions of body, speech, and mind, my actions of body, speech, and mind actually are rippling across and through the entire universe, just as everything is touching and moving and transforming us. When the morning star appeared, I and the sentient beings of Earth simultaneously attained enlightenment. One translation of what the Buddha said on awakening. As you wake up, I wake up. The whole world is already awake. Let's wake up to awakening. That includes everything. Enlightenment is everything and everywhere we look. No matter what happens, we and everything we encounter are the inhale and the exhale of the alive universe. Suzuki Roshi said, just to be alive is enough. Let's just keep settling down. Coming back, the backward step. Touching the earth, being touched by the earth. Suzuki Roshi also said shikantaza, our practice, is one way to say it, is don't be selfish. He said we're always making up a story about our lives. This is our dream. Every thought is a dream. Shikantaza is just doing within the dream. That's all. What is this doing? That is Buddha's dream. That is the dream of the whole world waking up with everyone knowing shelter and food and safety and peace. It's Buddha's dream. It's our dream. It's the dream of our hearts, of the one heart of the world. Norman Fisher has said, our minds can't see differences without making comparisons, judgments, preferences. We try so hard to get something out of everything we do. The Sanskrit word for consciousness is vijnana, which means to divide or to cut. For us, to have what we call is an experience is to divide or cut reality, to define and name it. Just what we do. Wake up, wake up. Not good, bad, otherwise. But there's practice enlightenment. He goes on to say, just don't get too tangled up. Things move through you without too much deliberation. Just devotion, creativity, loving our breath, letting go of everything without denying or repressing. Zenju Earthling Manuel quoted her teacher saying, "You are a student of the Buddha. You are a student of the Buddha." And he only wanted one thing. He only wanted us to see with Buddha eyes, to see with Buddha heart. To stay open to the disturbing and the beautiful in life. Life sometimes appearing as distorted thoughts, sometimes as clarifying ones. Feeling our way in the dark to help bring it forward. The entire body is hands and eyes. Pay attention. Let the world come in close. It's what we want, and it's what the small self, I think, is terrified of because it likes having its own agency. We don't give up our agency, it just becomes more aligned and in harmony with what we really want. Just kindness and love. Not liberation or freedom from something, but liberation into being the body of nature, being the earth, being who we truly are. And what if our deluded minds weren't a barrier to any of this? What if it's all just compost? Composting, being composted, new life, birth, death. Thich Nhat Hanh says, you can practice freedom every moment in your daily life. Every step you take can help you reclaim and be freedom. Every breath you take can help you develop and cultivate freedom. When you eat as a free person. What is that? When you eat as a free person. When you walk as a free person. When you breathe as a free person. This is possible anywhere. Watching the way you walk, the way you sit, the way you eat. Waking up and waking up and waking up to be alive is a miracle. It is the greatest of all miracles. To feel that you are alive and are breathing in is to perform, to embody a miracle. Being alive and taking a step is a miracle. Everybody's echoing everybody else. The wisdom, the trees, the grass, Thich Nhat Hanh, you, me. Here's another mirror, big round mirror through Norman Fisher. There is no moment in which we are separate and apart. We are always connected. To past, to future, to others, to objects, to air, to earth, to sky. Every thought, every emotion, every action, every moment of time has multiple causes and reverberations. As with us, so with everything. All things influence one another. This is how the world appears, shimmers, and shifts moment by moment. Things always associate with and bump up against each other. We must touch one another. I just got bumped. Well, I didn't like that bump. Whoops, I just got touched. Well, my heart just got tenderized. We can just watch how we feel about the bumping. Just little cells bumping around in this vast universe. And here's one more mirror from Joan Sutherland. Awakening is a marriage of wisdom and compassion. And both wisdom and compassion are made up of enlightening and endarkening. Finally, enlightening and endarkening. The enlightening aspect of wisdom is a growing clarity of insight that puts doubts to rest and creates confidence. It's about what we come to understand. Buddha's smile. Gentle smile, the Dalai Lama's gentle smile. The endarkening aspect of wisdom is our profound acceptance of the great mystery at the heart of things, which we can never understand in our ordinary ways, but we can come to rest in. This is about knowing what we can't know. This is about knowing what we can't know. Not knowing is most intimate. The enlightening aspect of compassion includes our shining commitment to everyone's freedom from suffering. Everyone. Everyone. Guns, no guns. Red, blue. High, low. Everyone's. The endarkening aspect of compassion is our willingness to have our hearts broken by the world, to have our hearts broken by the world, so our hearts remain open and not defensive. That's why we need practice. We need retreats. We need Sangha. We need the teachings. Who ever said this was going to be easy? And the amazing thing is that the more we stop fighting it, or little gaps in the fighting of it, there is more bliss and ease and joy and love. As we endarken, come down to earth, into the body, into the cells. Illumined, we see that we are not only continuous with the luminous nature of the universe, but also continuous with the great broken heart of the world. We and the world share a tenderness that is both poignant, beauty, and wound. Bodhicitta, I tried to look it up, I couldn't find it again, but I think the Chinese pictogram of it is a heart with something sharp hanging over it. Trungpa called it the genuine heart of sadness. Tenderized. The morning light, the bird song, the star magnolias, Patrick the goat, each one of you, the neighbor you meet on the path. This is what bodhisattvas choose and do. Even after becoming a Buddha, will you keep living the life of precepts? Will you keep showing up lifetime after lifetime after lifetime to help? And what is this helping? What is this waking up? It's a koan. Keep asking it. I am the earth, water, air, fire. I am you and you are me. And once we see it, we cannot unsee it. And we manifest it in word and deed, waking up, living in harmony with the way things actually are. Just be yourself. This is kind of funny, you know? I mean, it is. I had this insight sometime in this retreat of all those really serious Zen stories and those Zen guys hitting each other and everything. I hope I maybe they were just like off screen laughing all the time about and crying about how sad and funny and desperate and that there's nothing to do and no place to go and this is it and ay ay ay. And we all chose to sit down this weekend. Buddhists all over the world. Buddhists do it during Rahatsu, other traditions do it at other times. Interesting, it's this season of the dark when human beings choose to stop, to light candles in the dark, to become a candle in the dark, to give our trust and faith in, we don't know. In this time, we really don't know what's going to happen next. Our plates are full, humanity. Maybe always have been, but the particulars now with the pandemic and the earth and so much division. We have the good fortune as bodhisattvas to have been born in a time where you can't really go to sleep. But not just because of the suffering, but because of the bird song and the morning light. And the turning, I was so struck. I'm sure each one of you, there must have been moments during this sitting of just a dawning awareness or an understanding or just some small thing completely illumined. I was, that night happens, that we're on this planet. Well, I mean, that's somebody told me that, but there's dark and then the morning light comes. That's amazing. That in trust and faith, we go to sleep at night. In the dark, we give ourselves to the dark in some kind of trust and faith that the morning's going to come, that the morning star is already here and is arising. Nagarjuna said, when Buddhas don't appear and their followers are gone, the wisdom of awakening bursts forth by itself. The wisdom of awakening bursts forth by itself. It's bursting forth in everything. If we can just keep coming back and remembering and not being afraid to let our hearts be broken open by the beauty and the suffering of being tenderized and strong and upright. And I really, really promise, and I think each one of you do too, or you wouldn't be here, that we'll be here to help each other. And that the whole world is helping us. So Buddha's enlightenment and awakening is ours. It already is. And it is our profound gift, responsibility, to have been given a precious human life. So this retreat is, quote, going to end soon. There are beginnings and endings, and there are no beginnings and endings. Just keep letting go and letting go. As the Dalai Lama said, the mind can justify lots of things, but the heart knows. Let's keep practicing, turning towards the koan of what is an awake, undivided heart and how do we live it. So thank you so much, everybody. What a privilege to sit and practice with each of you. Beings are numbered.